Sri Sogata Rai.
Sir, I rise to speak on the budget. Though this Ghamandiya finance minister is not there to listen to our speech.
No, that
he
word
is the
will not
Ghamandiya finance minister of the Ghamandiya Pradhan Mantri. They do not.
You can do away with that word.
They do not think it is necessary.
It's not written.
I'll speak about you, Mr. Vaishnav. Wait a little. The finance minister has given a statement which is provoking all the states. Sir, you know that Tamil Nadu has backed Kerala's suit in Supreme Court against centre's move to strike-full states. Karnataka CM is leading a march to Delhi. West Bengal Chief Minister had a dharna for 2 days, demanding money for NREGA. This government wants to finish the opposition-ruled state. That is why the budget is for the rich. It's an anti-poor budget. One example will make it clear. The best project for the poor in this country was the MG-NREGA. Its allocation was 1,11,000 crore in 2021. Now it has come down to 86,000 crores. So for the poorest of the poor, there is no money. Not only that, the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, 10 crore landholding farmer families were getting 6,000 per year. There was expectation that it would be raised to about 9,000, but that has not been done. They believe they are already coming to government. I want to remind them in 2004, you were here in Parliament. They gave the slogan, India Shining. Vajpayee preponed the election. What happened? BJP lost. Do not take the people of the country for granted. अभी से बोल दिया कि हम जीतेंगे, ये it is not wise. And while on this, I want to tell the finance minister, you have given every day you are saying that opposition-ruled states are not cooperating in railway projects. You had said that West Bengal does not seem interested in new railway projects. I totally condemn your statement. Yes. The metro projects, which were started in 2010 when Mamata Banerjee was railway minister, they have not been finished yet. And the railway minister is only interested in Vande Bharat trains, fast trains at high cost, denying the poor. Now, one Odia MP is talking to him. He is also from Odisha, so I won't disturb him anymore. So, this is my point against this government. Sir, if you see the budget speech, you are a very careful reader of the budget speech. You will not find certain words. Minority is not mentioned. Working class is not mentioned. And even artificial intelligence is not mentioned. Sir, in West Bengal, 21 lakh NREGA workers were not being given their wages for 3 years. And then ultimately, we went on a dharna, we met the Prime Minister, nothing happened. The West Bengal Chief Minister has promised that she will give their money by 21st February. So, This is what the government is all about. Sir, now let me come to the budget. First, let me mention that one of the major jobs in a budget is to bring structural reforms in the economy. The government has lost the plot. The major structural reforms were carried out between 91 and 96 when Manmohan Singh was finance minister. Tax structures were reformed between 96 and 98. Between 2004 and 14, structural reforms were done in the securities market. After that, none. Yes, GST was a structural reform, but GST laws disrupted existing trade structures. IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, was a structural reform, but less than 20% of the bank loans or financial creditors are being recovered through IBC. So IBC failed as a structural reform. Sir, it has been mentioned that there is nobody in the government today who is able to think of policies which will benefit the economy in the next 10 or 20 years. There is nobody equal to Dr. Manmohan Singh. There are not even 3 officers in the government, and including the finance minister, who are acknowledged as world-class economists. They suspect anybody giving advice from outside. No competent economist in the whole government. Sir, the finance minister did not mention rampant unemployment. She had not mentioned that 30,000 farmers and agricultural laborers had died by suicide, nor about women's low participation in the workforce. Sir, you may also have noticed that social sectors have received a cut. You are interested in education, sir? Cuts in the government was supposed to spend 1,16,000 crores on education, but ended up spending 1,08,000 crores. Similarly, on health, it budgeted an expenditure of 88,900 crores, but it actually spent 79,000 crores. Social sectors are being cut in this Adani-Ambani government. Now, the core of core schemes meant for the most disadvantaged sections of society, such as SC, STs and minorities, have witnessed cuts. The umbrella scheme for development of scheduled castes budget is only 6,780 crores against budget estimate of 9,409 crores. For minorities who are neglected under this government because they are busy with Ram Mandir, the fall has been sharpest. In 22-23 budget estimates pegged the expenditure at 1,810 crores. As it turns out, this year, the government actually spent 233 crores, just 13% of the budgeted amount. In the current year, BE was 610 crores, but the RE is just 555 crores. Sir, all the social sectors have received big cuts. Now let me go to something else. Sir, all they are interested in high-profile visible schemes like Awas Yojana and sanitation. Apart from that, they have done nothing. They have promised one rooftop solar scheme. It's all fraud. You will not be able to fulfill 10% of your target in rooftop solar scheme, as Supriya Sule knows very well. So 61% cuts. No, one man was telling us that day, Samit.
Yes.
61% 7% cut for UGC. Now let me go to something else. Centre's food, fertilizer and petroleum subsidy to increase by 7% to 3.81 millions. Personal IT, only personal income tax has saved this government is more than corporate income tax. Sir, now let's talk about the macroeconomics. Between 2014 and 22, GDP grew at an average of 5.6%. But India's growth rate was even higher from 2000 to 2010 at 6%. Economists say India's economy will need to grow faster than current 6 to 7% rate in order to absorb growing number of entrants in the work area. Sir, what does Raghuram Rajan, world-class economist, say? He said, India is poorest among BRICS nations. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It also has a much longer distance of travel before it reaches their level of per capita income. Growth has been good, but it has to be set in perspective. What is the per capita income? India's unemployment remains high compared to pre-pandemic levels. According to CMI, Center of Monitoring Indian Economy, it exceeded 10% in October. Among young people aged 15 to 34, unemployment in the age group stood at 45.4% in 2023. Women's participation in the labor force is one of the lowest in South Asia. India's female labor force, ये नारी शक्ति बोलती है ना, कोई जवाब देने वाला है नहीं. हेमा मालिनी जी केवल है, वो शायद जवाब देगी. India's female labor force participation fell from 25% in 2014 to 24% in 2022. It is women's participation is lower than regional neighbors Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Sir, lot of India spending on research and development, they are saying we'll give 1 lakh crores. You know, it is the lowest in the world. Spending has fallen in the past decade. Share of research and development under this section has dropped to 0.7% of GDP, lower rate than any BRICS country, and far below what is it for South Korea, 5%, and ours is 0.7%. What is for Israel, 5%. Ours is 0.7%. One thing I mentioned, sir, you edit a paper. India's press freedom ranking is declining. India's ranking dropped to 161 in 2023. You know, NewsClick, what happened to them? Down from 140 in 2014 and just above Russia. We have come down to Putin's level. Putin has come to this front bench. He will soon take over all power. A free press is crucial to the economy. This is Jamini Iyer has written. She is the CEO of CPR think tank. When somebody comes from outside to invest, you'll find out about press freedom. Now, press freedom is also Adrisha Shakti, as Supriya correctly pointed out. So, Adrisha Shakti चारों तरफ चल रहा है. Sir, you know of an economist called Pranab Bardhan. He is in Berkeley. He is one of the reputed economists of the world. He said, India's data may be overstating the country's performance. ये इसमें भी घपला है. Sir, Raghuram Rajan said another thing. Alongside an emphasis on building physical capital, there has not been enough attention paid to creating human capital. This was a worry. Given India's unemployment crisis, we are flying blind, Raghuram Rajan said. Udaisi, you know about him. Without credible data on jobs, malnutrition levels in many parts of India, in Odisha, in Kalahandi, Bolangir, are higher than many countries in sub-Saharan Africa. What? This is by Raghuram Rajan, not by me.
Might be an old one. Today, Kalahandi is the second largest paddy growing district.
It is quoted in The Economist, which is a more reputed
no, it's not
magazine
factually
than
correct.
Sir, The Economist on November 13 said
Now, if
sluggish
you have a
investment
copy
is
of that,
holding
please
India
place it
back.
on the table of the House. Otherwise,
Investment
it
as
will
a
not go
fraction
on.
of GDP, which exceeded 40% in 2008 UPA,
No.
is now
This cannot go on
34%.
like this, Professor.
As per Barclays Bank. The money is not going
Swagat
into
Babu,
factories,
something
research.
we have to follow
Sir,
the rules.
you're saying something.
We have to follow the rules.
I'm-
If you are quoting some statement,
Yes.
then you have to place it on the record. Please.
You, just after this, I have the papers with me. The money is not going into factories, research, or other parts of private business. 36.5% of banks
But you are reading from
sanctioned are for roads and bridges, and another 20% for power. For chemicals, only 2.3%. Chemicals is an index of countries' development. And it has dropped from 3.4%. Foreign portfolio investment only recently turned positive after more than 2 years of outflows. And FDI fell by foreign direct investment, fell by 16% to 71 billion in March 31, 2023. New announcements have crashed to a 20-year low, reflecting insufficient animal spirits in the economy, as per CMI. Sir, Indian business climate remains difficult. The touted tax changes have too many tires and too much discretion in the hands of feared revenue officials. Playing field is not level, with a few local giants perceived to have gamed the system. Of the $120 billion worth of projects scheduled to be completed by March 2023, only 72 billion were present. This is by Eshwar Prasad of Cornell. The future is a fraught exercise. The country's infrastructure still has many gaps in supporting a vibrant manufacturing sector. The education system is not equipping young people with the vocational skills needed for a modern economy. Job growth has been weak, with little net employment in the manufacturing and service sectors. This will lead to risks of social instability. Sir, आप बेल बजाए? टाइम खत्म हो गया क्या?
टाइम खत्म हो गया.
2 मिनट दे दीजिए. 2 मिनट में खत्म करेंगे.
ठीक है.
आप सर शिवसेना के लीडर है, आप तो देंगे. A few politically well-connected conglomerates have accounted for a significant growth, leading to a concentration of economic power. The unfinished reform agenda is taking a backseat. Well-functioning legal system, a free press, all key to maintaining investor confidence. Each of these pillars have been eroded. In a government prickly about criticism, government is switching into triumphalist mode rather than pushing forward with the unfinished economic agenda. Sir, the biggest beneficiaries of India's stock market boom are the political insiders. Best connected of all is Gautam Adani, who has a relationship with Modi. Billionaire families. Sir, I am quoting from Economist. I am quoting for Economist. Sir, billionaire families
और
like
353
Adani's and Ambani's are Modi's partner in
353.
state building, but they are not globally competitive.
353.
India has failed to capitalize on rising labor costs in China. Bangladesh was more entrepreneurial and has higher GDP per capita. India may benefit from
353.
diversification from China. Said anything unparliamentary, I am ready to hold my ears and be expunged. But I shall not take this nonsense from the professional hecklers. Sir, World Bank, sir, yes, suniye. World Bank's Human Capital Index, which measures countries' education and health outcomes on a scale of 0 to 1, India's score is 0.49. Below Nepal, Kenya, both poorer countries. China scored 0.65, on par with Chile and Slovakia, which have higher GDP per capita. India has hundreds of millions of underskilled youngsters. In 2019, less than half of India's 10-year-olds could lead a simple story. And compared to 80% of China's children and 96% of American children, India's path is neither that of China nor that of the West. India might become the forerunner
दादा खत्म कीजिए
हो गया सर एक 4 सेंटेंस rather gloomy model for populous low income countries managed without a powerful effective government apparatus or globally competitive manufacturing center. Political connection deliver easy credit. India's growth has been debt fueled. In the current moment, there is a natural fit between the promoter model of capitalism personified by Adani and Modi's popularism. This is said by Ashoka Modi, one noted man, economist. He has written a book called India is Broken. Is India? सर, इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं निर्मला सीतारमण का बजट लोगों को साम्य नहीं दे रहा है, लोग आर्थिक स्थिति को आगे नहीं बढ़ा रहे हैं, केवल बोलना कि हम 3 नंबर हो जाएगा और आधा लोग गरीबी में रहेगा, वो कोई सलूशन नहीं है। इसलिए मैं ये बजट को विरोध करता हूं।